Welcome back, guys. In this video we're going to take flight on the maiden project, our peer-to-peer lending platform, which is, in this case, we will call it the Vigo Lend. Now, before we get our hands dirty on this project, I would like to introduce some concepts I'm going to have to implement in the course of these lessons. It is understandably clear that if this is a project that you're going to be working on normally, it could take you months, possibly, if not somewhere not less than 3 months with the required manpower. So in order for us to be able to cover more, I will not be writing the models or implementing the models on screen. For the beginning, we will write some models, and then you have a grasp understanding of how these models are structured. But in subsequent videos, what I will be doing is that I will write the models and just paste them, and then we will have a walkthrough step by step and explain why certain things are this way or why I did what I did. So that is just by the way. So without wasting much time, let's quickly go to our model documentation, which I had prepared using a third-party software. So these are some of the tables: the investor table, the borrower table, and what have you. All the models that are required to implement this system have been carefully documented. I have the HTML version. So here, let's see. For instance, we go to the country table. We will require the name, the ISO 2, the ISO 3, and possibly the currency in this country. And we have the state origin, city locations, what entails the borrower address, and these are pages, descriptive pages. So a page contains a title, the slug, a headline, the content, meta keywords, meta description, likewise created date and modified date, and on and on and on, with all the related entities that we will be implementing. So I will attach this documentation in below the video description, so you can download this. And I think if you want to also be a step ahead of me, you can implement these models on your own. So for instance, if we are still working on the country model and you have been able to complete some of the models yourself, and you may wish that I take a look at it, you could just also send it to me. I'll review it, and if there are some corrections to advise, I will advise accordingly. I think the best way to learn is actually to do. So that is why I have provided this document. It's not detailing enough, and some of these entities requires refactoring. So as we are progressing, some will be changing, some will also maintain its original state. But the idea here is that when you have these documents, you are able to at least build your own models and relationship, even though we have not got to that stage yet, and it will enhance your learning and also give you a better grasp about what we are going to do next. Now let's quickly start with our project, and with let me log out of this account and we can examine what we have here with the demo project. Okay, so what we have noticed, okay, I need to go reference the bubble. I want us to quickly check the data model of the user. So let's go to the data and user. On what is implemented here, so a user has these fields, lots of them, list of bank accounts. So this is a navigation field, additional yearly income, alternate current loan cards, which is also a navigation field, cash balance, the city. These are the basic information that will be required of a user. I mean the whole user model. And sometimes the models or the fields that are required also can be influenced by as a matter of regulation. There are some countries that is regulatory required by in the financial sector to have a particular field. We will not go much into that in this first video, but as we progress, we'll be talking more about the financial requirements and legalities and what have you. So what we've noticed here is that the first time you visit this website as a user, you are not able to sign in or you are not able to register. So the registration process or the workflow is that you click on check your rate, and by supplying the initial information, it also it also serves as the registration. Now, as a business, we may want to change the workflow. One scenario will be that we could just take the first name, the email and the password of the user, and after they have successfully confirmed their email, then we can go through the onboarding process like what I demonstrated in the banking web application, where you register, and then after confirming your email, then you can now onboard your users. The reason why I don't advise like this current approach that is being implemented here is that people, you need to make sure the data or your users are not ghost users. So before I will allow anybody to supply these information or fictitious information, I need to make sure they are real human beings. So my advice in this case is that we stick to this kind of workflow where you have to sign up, verify your email, and onboard. So you register here and then you go through the onboarding process. So when we go back to let's go to our borrower. So both the borrower and the investor are users. So when we go to the borrower, and this is what we have here. Let me widen the screen up. Okay. So this is what we have for the user column. So both the borrower and the investor. So the first name, current address will be taken, the permanent address will be taken, contact number, date of birth, a boolean or just a flag to indicate whether a user has completed the KYC verification, the highest education qualification. As it is stated here, this is not required, but may be required depending on the amount and purpose of the loan. And so this is also not required, but this is dependent on this. Email address for sure is required. KYC status, onboarding complete is a boolean. It's just a flag to indicate if the user has completed the onboarding process, and if they have, when did they complete the onboarding process. Social security, this is to enable you check the user's credit score and confirm if they are who they say they are, the time zone, default time zone of the borrower, join date, modified date, Stripe ID, pending cash balance, verification date, registered IP address, and what have you. And let's check what we have for the investor. So the investor first name, last name, the tax ID for tax purposes, date of birth, contact number, complete, KYC complete, escrow account, investment limits, and fund committed, the amount of money the investor has already committed into on our platform. So I think I will just merge this and then just have an enum that will differentiate if a user is an investor or a borrower, instead of just creating two separate columns. So we will just have, in this case, we will just merge and just have just a user column, and we will be able to differentiate which user this is. Now let's go back to our Visual Studio and do something here. Now to the user, so now we have the ID, and we will get rid of so for now let's so the first name, we will now take it because it's a requirement. So models dot, so let's take the first name field. First names. Blank true. Now it's true, and help text. The first names of the customer. Let's copy this and paste. Last name. I like to present my models in this way. And let's extend with some other features. So we have the first name, last name, the current address, the permanent address. So let's copy that and paste it as many times as possible. Okay. So first name, last name. So what we have next is current address. Where are we? First, last name. So this will be current address. The current living address of the customer. Permanent address. What do we have? Contact number, date of birth. Date of birth. The birth date. And the date of birth is going to be a date field. Yes, so for now, let's make this maximum length 225. Maximum length. The contact number 75 or just 50. I don't think there's a number. Date of birth. Now what have we? KYC complete. So this is going to be a Boolean field, which we're going to have default as false. Flag to determine if customer has completed KYC verification. So if he has KYC complete date, which is going to be a date field, a datetime field. So this is going to be timestamp when customer completed KYC verification process. So this is KYC complete, and this one KYC complete date. What else do we have? For now, we will skip the highest qualification. We will keep it pretty basic. So KYC status, we will get there. So KYC status is here. So KYC status, which is going to be choices, KYC status, because we have that as an enum with options verified, unverified, and pending. So by default, a newly registered user will have the unverified KYC status, the KYC status. So we have to create this enum. Let's create it here. So user choices, KYC status, unverified, then what are the other options? We add them accordingly. So one is unverified. Let me make this pending. Verified. Action required. I'll add one, or add two for cancelled. Rejected or refused. So now we are done with this enum. What else do we have? Onboarding complete, which is going to be a Boolean. So completed onboarding. Default is false. Flag if user, flag to determine if customer has completed onboarding process. So we are going to be writing this model together for only the user, but in subsequent models, I'll be just pasting them, models that data in field. So this is going to be robust name, onboarding complete, date, blank, true, help text, timestamp when customer completed onboarding process. So KYC submitted. KYC submitted. Flag to determine if the customer has submitted a KYC verification. Salutation, we will skip that for now. Job title, social security is really important. So models, the character field, social security number. What is going on? Oh, okay, something is missing. So social security number, maximum field, maximum length. I don't think there's a social security number longer than that, so help text, the social security number of the customer. This helps to determine the credit score and also validates the identity of the customer. So this is how I stated initially that I write my models. I like to be very descriptive in the implementation or construction of my models. Place of birth, place of birth, which blank is going to be true, and now is going to be true. Help text is going to be the place of birth of the customer. This must match the place of birth as indicated in the customer's photo identification. Yes, and what do we have? Time zone, join date is already there, modified date, I think we already have that by default, and verification date. Okay, so let me just copy these, and so I don't have to come here. Register date, country of residence, and what else do we need? Okay, so we could add maybe job title. Alright, so we go back and finish up with our models. So Now we have this verification date. It's going to be a date timestamp when customer's profile was verified. Registered IP. The IP address recorded at the time of registration. Country of residence. The country of the customer KYC verification will be applied to this country, and customer must provide proof of such residence as relevant in the country of jurisdiction. Yeah, I think, yeah. And this is job title. Customer. This is that. And I think there's something over here, the KYC verification. We need to fix this. And we need to fix the maximum length. So maximum length, maybe job title 150, just to be safe. Country of residence, we will get back to this country of residence, but for now let's do that. Registered IP, I don't think this field is okay. There's another field for the generic IP address field, yes. And then we make sure it's not editable, so editable is false, yes. Verification date is a date time, and this is not editable, so, and we can create a default, which will be time zone .now. Let's import time zone. Time zone. So where are we? Place of birth, maximum length, social security maximum length is implemented. Let's see what we have now. KYC status, maximum length, 5. No, it's too small, so KYC status is 15 characters. And what again? And we have permanent address. Permanent address, so I think that is that for our user model. Currency, the default currency of Okay, so this is also important because if you are living in the United States, you can only apply for a loan in US dollar. So we need to add this currency. So let's call that default currency. And for currency, let's take a maximum length of 3. Default currency. You can choose to set a default as euro or US dollar. So let's copy that. What else do we have? So verification date and cash balance. Okay, so I'll add this. I'll keep these fields for later because they are special fields. We will have to talk about them. So pending cash balance, Stripe ID, we don't need that for now. We will work on these later. Salutation. Phone number, higher qualification, pass out year, so for now we have successfully completed the implementing the user model. Now let's get some data from the investor and then add them because we're just going to be maintaining the same. So tax ID, investment limit. So let's add investment limits. The funds committed, which is going to be in money. Escrow account number, escrow, escrow, both the same. Contact number, so let's take the tax ID. So these models we're going to be implementing, these fields will be implemented later. The reason why, because some of these fields are we will have to use custom fields, especially, and also like the phone number field, for instance. So we will for now we'll just keep it as short as this, and I think we've completed with the user model and everything is in order. I guess so. And our meta class, let's create a meta class here. Members name, let's call them registered users. Members plural. Registered users. Yes, and I think that is that. And let's add a string method. Return self.name, which okay, let's make this for now. Let's leave it as self.email. And we have to run make migrations. and social security number. Yeah, we need to make it a null. Blank. 2. What else? Okay, let's go back. All right. Python 3. Migrate. So we have successfully migrated our changes. Now that we've got our project set up, we need to now, commit all changes and then keep a trail of our codes in GitHub. So we'll go to GitHub and create a new repository. This is pretty basic. So let's create a new repository, and we're going to call this Vigoland. And description here, peer-to-peer lending platform for global clients built using Django. So this is Vigoland, and we make it public. Run the README. Can choose alliances, so I'll just leave it. MIT and create repository. Now that we've created our repository, we can go back to our project and clear screen and make it wider more. I hope it fits on my screen. Okay, so now we will initialize git init, and now a git repository has been created for us. Now let's check something like that. Let's commit all our changes. Git add, git commit. We'll write initial project setup. We've successfully committed. In subsequent videos, we will now commit it to our remote, because at present we haven't. So let's check git remote. There's no we've not connected our repository to git yet, so this we can always do by git remote set URL origin, and then we now bring in our git URL. We can just copy it here, or I think here. Like that. Now search remote set. What am I doing wrong? I always get confused sometimes. So yeah, so I got it wrong. Git remote add, and I think now git has been remote repository has been added. Git remote, yes, and now our repository Yes, it's linked. Now, so let's push our codes. Git push set upstream origin master, and let's confirm. Not yet. So we have to merge.